Hello everyone, this is Jimmy Cultist, back again with another logic video. Today we're going to be doing something on the subject of how to make exploding insects, although this could be exploding anything, where you have like little bits of them flying around and juices and whatnot. A notable example of this, which probably inspired the method I'm using, is in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. There's these big beetly caterpillar things that explode in the sand. I don't know why, that really sticks in my memory. But let's get set up real quick. It's actually quite simple to create this effect. I'm using this spider fellow as our example, since he's very insectoid, I guess, or arachnoid. But we'll just take out a little microchip labeled Death. And we're also going to set this thing's HP to 1. You could have it at any level though, it doesn't matter. Just basically when the health reaches 0, it's going to activate this chip. We're going to put down a little emitter. We're going to take the no health output, stick it in the node. Maybe make the node red to indicate its death. Then we'll put down a destroyer, go inside the emitter, turn this emit speed down to 0, set it to emit once, set the lifetime to 5, and that should be good. Then go to object just emitted, stick it in here. If you want to know how to open the tweak menu, in case you're new, it's L1 and square opens the tweak menu, and just pressing X on this or this switches between the two menus, just in case you weren't aware. Now we're going to have to work on our effect, and for that I'm going to copy the spider's limbs, L1 and R2 to do so, scope out, of course, holding L2, or not L2, holding R2, L1, and then circle will remove it from the group, at least in theory it should. There. Make sure that you're grabbing hold of all 3. I don't know what the third group is, but whatever. Another thing you're going to want to make sure to do is if there's any animations attached to this, it's not really extremely necessary, but I would delete them. Alright. This is the invisible connections that you can turn on to see that. Another thing I'm going to do for thermo's sake is get rid of this bolt and group these two things. I might also ungroup these inside, that way our group is just one group instead of 2 separate groups. It's a little more thermo effective. Actually, we can leave it the same size. So that's going to be one piece of our bug. Another piece I'm going to copy is this. Scope out, the same as before. And we're going to go ahead and group these two things for a good reason. And we're going to set them... we're going to label them as objects. Also going to make them collidable. Let's just go ahead and double tap in here. Make them collidable. Next, scope in and make both of them movable. Oops, that's not what we want. Go inside the group and make sure these are not movable, because you want it to fall as a single group. There we go. That's exactly what we want. I also heavily advise, since we're going to be copying these, to use the live clone feature, just in case you make changes Oops, scope in. It might get a little confusing being inside the group, but this will do for now. Next, we're going to need some effects, you know, some yucky spider goo. I'm going to put it on Stamped Fleck and Surface Snap. Let's make sure we're inside this group before we do this. I might actually change it from Stamped Fleck to Brush Fleck. And I think it'd be cool to make it glow. It's not really necessary, but I just think it'd be neat. Also make it waxy and shiny. Alright, now we're gonna do the same with these. Although, actually, technically we don't have to. Instead, let's take Rule Fleck. Well, actually, don't do Rule Fleck. Let's try Draw Fleck. Basically, what that does is it increases the width. It's kind of like the more you tap, the harder you tap R2, the larger the fleck is, and the less you tap it, the smaller it gets. So it's a good way to create a taper like that. Alright. Now, are we inside any groups? No, we're not. That's good, actually. Make it waxy, a little shiny. Oh, also the color is a little bit off from the other one. Might want to correct that. And we're going to set it to 500 speed. And set it to Jet Trail. We're also going to set it to Flow. And Evaporate. Turn up the Impasto. Also maybe, we don't need to put Ruffle on there. I think we'll be fine. Alright, we're going to start adding these. Just stick them to the stock right here. Alright, I think we've got them all in place. Yeah, they seem to be grouped properly. You can double check by tapping them with X. Alright. That's the right kind of gore we want. Alright. Now, we're just going to put this little thing right here. Actually, it might be better, just in case you want to add more things, to put a chip. Just don't adhere it to anything. Put it right in the center about here. If it's not dead center, it doesn't matter. And we'll put down a timeline. And at the very beginning of the timeline, we're going to put this, because we only want it to throw things off once. And we'll set the power to 5, make sure it's maximum force strength. And we'll have it so it can throw both collidable and invisible things. It won't really be necessary, but... And have it so it only throws objects. Things labeled object, that is. And as you can see, it's throwing our gore effect out there pretty well. Alright. Also, if you want to control exactly when this stuff disappears, you could put a destroyer on here. Of course, make sure to open the destroyer's logic and select affected objects, which I'm having great difficulty with for some reason. I turned off wires, that's why. Make sure you have wires turned on. But just take affected objects once you're scoped outside the group and it'll destroy the whole group. Now I do want a little splash effect. I would like a little, you know, splat, like a sort of gory explosion, I guess. So let's go ahead and make that. Now we're not going to put a lot of effort into this, because as usual I want to be effective with my time that I have available, so... That should be good enough. Also make sure to remove those flecks in the middle, since we don't need them. And we're going to set it to Impasto, which gives things a little bit more three-dimensionality. Ruffle also helps a little bit. Set it to 500, set it to Pulse. 50 should do nicely, I think. I'm also going to make things stretched and loosened. That would seem about right. And a little throb and a little evaporate doesn't hurt. Also, turn off loop so that this only plays once. If you want to see it multiple times, just rewind the scene. And if you want to see it when it's not emitted just yet, go ahead and look in here. Might turn up the speed just a little bit to 1,500. And we could put it on... what is this? Duplicates? Yeah. And we'll just scale jitter it a little, and it'll give it a little bit more... a little bit more gusto. Scope in. And just add this right here. I also think I want to add a bit more speed to the explosive effect. It's a little bit lackluster. It's like they just kind of drop on the ground. I think that's much better. Also, making this explosion bigger might also be cool. But now that we have our little effect, let's go ahead and go over to the emitter and simply select this, grab the little white thingy, move it to the center of our spider. Also, we can turn off connectors, wouldn't want to mess those up by accident. So our spider is ready to be demolished. We're going to put a little timeline on here. And say you were shooting the spider with a weapon, you'd be using a health modifier, no doubt. So we're going to make it set to have a zone per hit. We're going to make it 100, which should definitely kill a spider since his health is only 1. Also, we better make sure what our spider is labeled. We'll have him labeled as foe. and we'll set it so that it only damages foes. We'll also make it so the spider doesn't collide with objects, which I've already done, but you should do that as well. That way those pieces of himself wouldn't interfere with you or anything else. Make sure the player doesn't collide with the same object as the debris. Same label, I should say. Anyway, now I think we can go ahead and watch it in action. A nice splat sound effect would also help. But yeah, there you see it. A perfectly good exploding gore effect. And I hope you found that helpful. Here are the names of all of our lovely cult supporters. Many thanks to all of you. If you'd like to get your name in those credits, check the link in the description and head over to our Ko-fi. You can become a cultist neophyte to become credited at the end of our video, or you can become an acolyte to gain early access to videos in addition to credit. Now, if you aren't in the mood for membership, you can always leave a one-time tip. If you enjoyed this video and are not already subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And maybe give us a quick like, both options are free. Also, don't forget to ring the notification bell so you will always be notified when new videos come out. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions, leave them in the comments section. Or if you just want to let out your pent-up rage, give us some smack talk. Until next time, goodbye.